Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. And today's video, we're going to talk about a month-to-month guide on when to travel to Switzerland. I think this is a very common question that I receive all the time, where people ask about when is the best time to visit Switzerland and is there a particular month to avoid? Well, Switzerland is a country with such great contrast that actually any single time of the month is great to visit. However, there are certain things that you should take note of if you're coming in a certain month. So in this video, I will be sharing with you important things at different times of the year from January to December. We'll be talking about the weather in each specific month, what festivals or events are happening during a particular time of the year, as well as locations or specific destinations that are perfect for visiting. So without further ado, let's get going. Let's start with January. Now, this is the coldest time of the year where temperatures range between 2 to 3 degrees in the cities and down to -7 degrees in the mountains. So if you're someone that is, terrified of the cold, this is not the time for you to visit. However, if your ultimate goal is to enjoy snow sports during January in Switzerland, then this is really the best time to visit. January is also most ideal if you're taking the Glacier Express from Zermatt to St. Moritz, because then you will be able to enjoy snow sceneries of the glacier. There is also the International Hot Air Balloon Festival that is happening at Chateau d'Oeil in the western part of Switzerland. So if you're looking for a special event and to take on hot air balloon rides in Switzerland, this is the perfect time to do so. A lot of people might not know this, but January is also the start of the winter sale, where a lot of sales are going on with up to 70% discounts. So you can head to the outlets, for example, the one in Longcats or the one at Foxtown, and chances are you will be able to find a lot of good discounts, especially for sports equipment. In my opinion, out of the 3 winter months from December to February, I think January is the most ideal for a winter holiday because it is not as busy, and also because the school holidays has not yet started in Switzerland. The school holiday starts in February, so you will still be able to enjoy the snow without too much of the crowd. Moving on to February. Now, this is also a cold time of the year, and temperatures are likely between 2 to 3 degrees in the cities and down to -5 degrees in the mountains. The schools are having their midterm break in February, so this is particularly a busy time at the ski resorts. The winter days are still short, but by February they are increasing and you will get more hours of daylight as compared to, say, in December and January. During this month of the year, I think the best things to do is still snow sports, and for this I think St. Moritz and Zermatt are good places to go, where you can really enjoy good snow and good ski mountain views. If you're visiting Switzerland in February, you should definitely not miss out the carnivals that is happening in a lot of German cities such as Lucerne or Basel. This is also called the Fastnacht, and it happens towards the later part of February, towards the end of the month. And this is a time of the year where you will see like the Swiss really being party animals. There are tons of costume parades and partying going on in the main streets. And apparently this is a celebration and a festival to mark nearing the end of winter, and also apparently in the olden days, kind of like a festival to drive away demons. Let's get down to March. This is a transition month in Switzerland, and honestly the weather can get quite bizarre. I don't really recommend coming to Switzerland if you're trying to do more outdoor activities, because in March there is going to be a lot of rain. Based on my experience, I've always noticed that at the first week of March there's going to be a little bit of sunshine, but in the next 2 weeks there's going to be a lot of winds and a lot of rain, so it's very unpredictable. And finally at the end of March there will be a little bit more sunshine and it's going to feel more spring-like. So between the 4 weeks of March, I think end March to early April is a better time to come, whereas in the middle of March, no, try not to come because there's a lot of rain and wind. So in terms of the weather, you can expect temperatures between 9 degrees, and down in the mountains it will be more cold at around -4 degrees Celsius. If you are aiming to ski in March, definitely you need to consider coming at the earlier part of March where there is still reliable snow. And in terms of the location, you need to choose resorts that are of higher level, where there are snow-sure locations. For example, Zermatt, Verbier, Saas-Fee or Davos, and also St. Moritz. If you're someone that loves flowers, gardening, or all things colorful, March is a good time to visit because at different parts of Switzerland, there will be the cherry blossoms and it's very easy to spot them. I don't have a specific locations, but in cities like Lausanne, Bern, Zurich, you will see a lot of Japanese cherry blossoms and also magnolias. They look a little bit like cherry blossoms, but they are kind of different. Also, there is the March Tulip Festival that starts in the middle of March to the end of April. This is a really nice festival that has all tulips sprouting around the garden. It's not really quite the same as the ones in Amsterdam, but it's still equally beautiful. So March is a good time for spring and colorful flowers. Next on, we have April. This is considered one of the better months to visit because there are lesser crowds. Most of the ski season would have already wrapped up, and the spring, summer tourist people have still not yet come in flocks, so you will still enjoy most of the places without too much crowd. In the cities, for example, you can expect temperatures between 4 to 15 degrees, whereas in the higher mountains, you can expect temperatures between -2 to 7 degrees. I think Lucerne is a particularly good choice to visit in April because the weather tends to be nice and you can do both indoors and outdoors activities. For example, you can head to the Transport Museum and you can easily spend 3 hours there visiting the exhibits from planes to bus to trains. There's so much to go to do in the Transport Museum. And there is also Mount Pilatus and Titlis, which is open throughout spring and they are solid must-see. Hiking can be a little hit or miss in April because sometimes due to the rain, the first week of spring, of April especially, are quite muddy, so not that favorable until the really tail end of April. Right next, we have May. This is one of my favorite months of the year because the snow has officially gone and you can go out easily with just your light jacket and your dresses and it's not too cold by now. So it's really a good month to do a lot of outdoor activities. In terms of the temperatures, you can expect the range between 11 to 21 degrees in the cities and from 2 to 10 degrees in the mountains. A great activity to be doing in May is to sample Swiss wines, especially in the Lavaux region, because there is this event called the Cave Ouvert, also known as the open cellar. This is a time of the year where the winemakers actually open up and they offer tastings for a reduced fee. The last time I went was last year in May, and there was this tasting at this little village called Epes, and for a price of 50 francs, you get unlimited wine for the entire day and you can visit all the different cellars of the region. So it's really a perfect time to enjoy Swiss wines at a lower price. May is also an exceptionally good time to be going on scenic trains because a lot of them would have closed during winter and they will reopen by May. So some good scenic trains that I would highly recommend would be the Golden Pass from Montreux to Schweizermann and also the Brienz-Rotonde train in Brienz. I haven't taken that myself, but I would like to do so this coming May. I would not recommend you to take the Glacier Express in May because it's the Glacier Express for a reason. You know, you go there to see the snowy glaciers and most of the sceneries you will not see any snow by now, so it's not the most perfect time for the Glacier Express. You should be taking that train during the winter month. At the northeastern part of Switzerland, one hiking trail that I recommend would be the trail from Ebenalp to the Asia Guest House, you know, the guest house that is perched at the edge of the cliff. This is one of the first mountain areas to open for hiking in May, and it always delivers. It's just an easy 15 minutes walk from the Ebenalp to the Cliff restaurant, and you can also continue to go down to the lake. For hiking fans, you definitely need to consider going on a hiking trail above Montreux. There are many different trails, but two that I will point out is the one that goes from Glion and also from Haute-de-Caux, because this is where you can find the very beautiful white narcissus flowers that blooms only in May. So it really looks like, people even call it the May snow because it just looks like winter flowers. It scatters all over the field. It's exceptionally scenic and I would love to visit it in May. After May, we are now down into the month of June. This is particularly a great time to visit because the summer tourists are still not here. In terms of the temperature during June, it can range from 14 to 24 degrees in the cities and down to 5 to 14 degrees in the mountains. In terms of activities that I would recommend to do in June, I think paragliding is a great choice because the weather is not that cold, and up in the sky you can still enjoy the really stunning views of Lake Brienz and Lake Thun. Another activity that I recommend as a day trip option if you're near Zurich is to visit the Rhine Falls and Schaffhausen, because you will get to see the spectacular views of the waterfalls, and you can also do the classic yellow boat tour to the Middle Rocks and you'll get a really good scenery. Moving on to July, this is by now considered summertime in Switzerland, and even though the country is known for its snowy peaks, but when it comes to summer, the weather can get really hot. You can expect between 17 to 27 degrees or sometimes up to 30 degrees in the lowland cities and between 8 to 18 degrees in the mountains. You need to take note that for most of the hotels in the Switzerland, they do not offer air conditioning, so it can get pretty stuffy. So either you open up your windows when you're about to go to bed, or you can bring your own portable fan if you're really afraid of heat. July feels really vibrant because there is a lot of concerts and music festivals happening, and there is one particular event that is really popular, which is the Montreux Jazz Festival, which takes place in July. This is one of the largest music festivals in Switzerland, and it attracts top musicians and jazz enthusiasts from all over the world. So if you happen to be in Montreux, you can check out this event. Next up, we are comes to August, which is another peak summer month in Switzerland. In terms of the temperature, it ranges from 16 degrees to 26 to 28 degrees in the lowlands and 7 to 16 degrees in the mountains. August 1st also happens to be the Swiss National Day, and during this time of the year, you will see a lot of fireworks at different parts of the country. Especially if you were to go to the Rhine Falls, there will be a big massive display of fireworks over the lake. It's very beautiful. A great summer hike that I highly recommend to do in August would be a visit to the Aletsch Glacier, which is the largest glacier in the Alps. I'm not super sure why it's not that popular, maybe because it's not like very accessible, but you get really good views, especially if you were to go to the Musler viewpoint. I will link my video up here for the video where I made a visit to Aletsch Glacier and around Valais. Another of my favorite place to visit in summer would be the canton of Ticino. It's really like the little Italy of Switzerland, and there's so much Mediterranean charm over there, and there's plenty of things you can do in summer in Ticino. For example, you can go have a dip in the Val di Cesca, you can visit the city of Lugano, and you can even go to the Swiss Miniature Park, where you can see little miniature displays of all the different cities and different mountains of Switzerland. Is perfect for kids. You can also head up to Morcote, which is considered the most beautiful town in Switzerland back in 2015. And if you're a fan of castles, you can visit the 3 castles of Bellinzona, which offers a majestic views of the surroundings, and it's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Moving on to September, this in my opinion is the best time to visit Switzerland, and I have a few reasons for stating so. Firstly, I think September is also already considered shoulder month in Switzerland, so the summer tourists have left and you are going to enjoy lesser crowds. And secondly, the weather is much more favorable. In the summer days, you're like scared of the heat and you don't want to sweat too much, and then in December, it might be too cold for some of you. So September is like a nice in-between because the weather is kind of chill and not too cold. You can still get by with just a trench coat and like a neat scarf. So in terms of like your packing, and also in terms of the rainfall, is also not too much as well. So I think September is the best period in terms of weather and also in terms of activities. The temperature ranges between 10 degrees to 19 degrees in the cities and much lower in the mountains, between the range of 2 to 7 degrees. There are a lot of traditional alpine events that are happening in September because this is the month where the Des Alps is happening, when the cow starts coming home, and you will have like this parade where the people in the cities and the towns welcome back their flock. And there's also the Alpine Horn music festival. Not really a festival, just like an Alpine Horn celebration. Is super traditional. And also in the different cities, especially near the wine regions, for example in Lake Geneva, in Neuchâtel, etc., there is the grape harvest, and this is a time where the whole city just celebrate the return and the collection of the harvest. So a great time to be visiting the vineyards, and there is so much fun and celebration. Last year there was one in my town. It happened like 2 years after, because during the pandemic there was no such celebration, and it was just so fun. Next up, we have October. October is considered middle to low season for travel in Switzerland. Switzerland, and so there is not too much crowds. Average temperature during October, the temperature ranges between 13 degrees in the cities and down to 2.5 degrees in the mountains. Although hiking may still be possible at the lower altitudes, as compared to summer during June to August, October is not as ideal when it comes to outdoor adventures. However, it is also still a good time, especially to visit the cities. A few places that I highly recommend would be to visit cities like Zurich, where you can visit the salt and pepper churches in the old town, and also visit to the lean home of chocolate. Another city that I will highly recommend would be, if you're looking for more arts and culture, I also recommend the city of St. Gallen, where you can visit the St. Gallen Abbey and also the Abbey Library, which are both UNESCO heritage sites. As the temperature starts to drop in October and the weather gets slightly colder, this is also a great time for you to indulge in some spa experience and also head down to the thermal baths. And for this, you can go to Leukerbad in Valais. Next up, we have November, and I'm going to keep it really short because I only have one conclusion for November, that is, don't come in November. I know that the tickets are slightly cheaper and also hotel prices are slightly lower, but I still don't recommend coming in November because you're coming at possibly the worst time of the year. There is so much rain happening in the first 3 weeks of November, and also more importantly, a lot of the gondolas and mountain funiculars, the cableways, they are all under maintenance during this time because it's low season and they are doing their preparation and construction maintenance before the winter peak. So chances are a lot of the mountain excursions that you want to do would be closed. So I think it's such a pity that you're coming and then all of the outdoor natures and activities that you want to do is not possible. So do not come in November. Now we're down to December. This is officially the festive month of the year, and it's so Christmassy with all the lights and the decorations and the Christmas markets. In terms of the weather, you can expect a range between -1 to 4 degrees in the cities and between -8 to -1 in the mountains. And also in terms of outdoor activities, December is the start of winter season and most of the ski mountain resorts would already be open, so you will be able to enjoy skiing, snowboarding, sledding, etc. If you're here to soak up the Christmas vibes in Switzerland, a few places you should go would be first Zurich, where you can not only go and see the Christmas markets, but also the Lucy lights that is lighting up at the center of Bahnhofstrasse. Make sure you check out my Christmas vlog for Zurich, as well as going to the Montreux Christmas market in the Montreux Riviera region. This is one of the most stunning and prettiest Christmas market in Switzerland, which is just by the lake, and there's so many things to do there as well. A smaller Christmas market would be the one in Basel. I've been there, but I don't think it's as pretty as the one in Zurich and Montreux, but these are just 3 main Christmas markets in Switzerland. And there you have it, my month-to-month guide for visiting Switzerland. I hope you find this guide helpful for planning your Swiss travels and also to know when exactly is the best month of the year to visit. Let me know down in the comments which month of the year that you're traveling to Switzerland, as well as the locations that you will be visiting. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!